Hi, I'm Bernie Hayes. You know, there are all sorts of artists. They're performing artists, they're visual artists. Today we have Mwaza Carol, an artist. Today on The Bernie Hayes Show. And welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes, and like I promised you, my guest is Mwaza Carol. Carol, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You just won an award from the UrbArts. Tell us about that.
I did. I won Artist of the Year.
Artist of the Year. Okay.
And I'm very excited about it. It's other than winning like first prize at shows and things, it's the first award that has really felt like I'm achieving some of the things that I want to achieve. And so I was excited. It really touched me. And it made me feel like everything that I've done and everything I've been working on is being appreciated and seen. And so I appreciate MK Stallings and UrbArts for all the support that they've given me.
MK,
during this
Ira Jones, all the guys with the UrbArts are they're dedicated to art.
Yes, they are very dedicated.
Yeah, sure.
Between poetry and music and all of that, they're very dedicated.
Yeah, performing artists and spoken word and everything else. Carol Thompson-Robinson is your name. You're an artist, but you go by Mwaza Carol.
I do.
Now, tell us about that name. The name.
Well, Mwaza Carol means creative, thoughtful, and imaginative.
Is that Kiswahili?
It is.
Okay.
And I wanted to distinguish. There is another artist named Carol Robinson out there.
Okay.
And when I would look up stuff, I wouldn't find me, I would find her. Okay. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to have to distinguish myself from the other artist. And so my husband and I thought about it, and we went over some stuff. And I was like, well, I could use my maiden name. He was like, no. So I decided to add a name to it. And I checked with my mom before I did it, because she's like, but I named you. And so at that point, I decided to use Mwazaji was the original thing. Okay. And as time went on, I learned more about Kiswahili. I was like, okay, I need to cut it to the root word Mwaza. Okay. And that's creative, thoughtful, and imaginative.
Well, and what you are, what you really, really are. And what is your mission?
Well, my mission is to bring inspiring art to African people all over the world, to create art that makes them feel something, but also to make art that is functional in a way, where it's not just something they put on the wall, but it brings an energy and a vibe to their room or their household. Or
you brought a piece today. Can we look at that piece, what that is? Now, describe what that is.
Well, this piece is called Solidarity.
Solidarity.
Yes, and it has young children from different places around the world that are wrapped in cloth. And the cloth weaves between all of them as part of a connecting force.
Okay. Now, you painted it. How long did it take you to do that?
Oh, goodness.
Years?
No, it did not take years. I think I worked on it over about 5 months.
Really? But you have so many other pieces, too, that I've seen. How did UrbArts, like we said, MK Stallings and Ira Jones and the rest of them associated with UrbArts, have so many different artists, different type artists, performing artists and so forth. Why were you selected, in your opinion, to become the Artist of the Year by UrbArts?
Well, I've had, over the past years, I've had several shows there. And I think that the shows have given of course, we give a percentage to the organization to help keep it going. So we artists like me have places to display my works, and over the years it has grown and grown and grown. Maybe the first year I did it, it was just a couple of paintings that sold. My last show, I had 14 paintings in there. I sold 7 of them.
Wow, that's great.
And so as things have gone on, more and more people have learned about me, and more people have come and actually have purchased art. So,
and UrbArts is located in Old St. Louis.
Yes, it's Old North on 14th Street.
Sure, 14th near St. Louis Avenue.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's really becoming a creative art district.
Yeah.
Now,
there's several places there that artists and performers and everything could go and have activities.
How can we see your displays and perhaps buy some of your work? How can we reach you?
So I have a website, and you can also reach me through my phone number and email.
Okay. Repeat them for us. Well, what is your email address? My
email address is MwazaCarol@gmail.com.
And Mwaza spelled how?
MwazaCarol @gmail.com.
And your website is?
MwazaCarolArt.com.
MwazaCarolArt.com. And your phone number?
It is 314-718-3791.
You're used to saying it, but we're not used to hearing it. Could you slow it down a little bit for me?
My phone number is 314-718-3791.
And they can come and visit you, and will you show them your art? Is it on display someplace? Is it in a gallery or where? Online?
Right now, you can see my art online.
Okay.
There will be there are activities going on at Progressive Employment Education Center bookstore, and I will be they're located at 1108 North Sarah, and I will be doing a little show there during December. We have not gotten, I don't know which exact date that I'll be working.
That's Lancaster.
Yes.
Sure.
But we'll be doing that.
Kujliwa.
We'll be doing that in December.
So we have to check with the Progressive Emporium, and they'll tell us when you'll be there displaying your art. This is a wonderful place. I've been there many, many times. In fact, they're friends of mine. They've been on their show here several times.
Yes.
Too. So, Mwaza Carol, I asked you to read some things that you had written. Before our first break, would you read the first paragraph for us?
Yes. I am a creator of things. I am one who asks to be manifested here, to bring things into fruition, make them beautiful and tangible. It has taken me many years to recognize this, but once I did, it placed me firmly on my path, and life opened up for me. I began and became someone who does creative work. My art is not just for viewing, but for inspiring, uplifting, provoking thought and functionality. It is a fusion of the past, African history and culture with the present, which represents my story and life. In my work, I see that everything is filled with spirit. I pay homage to that spirit with an attempt to release the energy into my work.
Wow, that's very powerful. Really, really powerful.
Thank
Asante Sana. This is it is so beautiful and inspiring. I want to read some more after our break. I want to come back and read some other things that you've written, because it's so uplifting to read what you wrote and read what your spirit is saying to say it to. And then I assume you're in touch with the ancestors, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Of course. Okay. I want to come back and talk about your education. As we see your education.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. On the table here, there's the cup from Harris Stowe State University. Mm-hmm. There's a cup from Webster University. I'm affiliated with both universities. And this is a cup that Judge Judy Draper brought me back, she and James, from the Justice draper brought back from the inaugural President Obama. But this is the Bernie Hayes Show Cup. And Reverend Larry Rice has made a concerted effort to make sure that everyone can get a Bernie Hayes Show Cup, and also it supports the New Life Evangelistic Center. And instead of me talking about it and continue to show it, let's hear from Reverend Larry Rice.
Will you help New Life Evangelistic Center get back into 1411 Locust Street? Your tax-deductible gifts are urgently needed at this particular time, and there's many different ways that we're working to get back in that facility. One of the ways is to continue to inform the community through the Bernie Hayes Show and other programs. And if you haven't supported the Bernie Hayes Show and the work of New Life Evangelistic Center, please do it now. It's urgently needed. Your gifts are deeply appreciated. So many homeless people are waiting to get back into 1411 Locust, and so many others need the direct help that New Life is trying to provide at this time, but it's facing some real financial needs, and that's why your gift is very, very important. And to express our thankfulness for all of you that are sharing your gifts, we want to send you this special Bernie Hayes cup. It's my wife's favorite drinking cup. She loves to drink out of this cup, and this is actually the only coffee cup she wants to use is the Bernie Hayes cup. There's something very special about this cup, and we'll send it to each one of you that share a gift of $25 or more with the New Life Evangelistic Center and ask for your Bernie Hayes cup. It's P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, that's 63166. Your gift will not only help us get back into the 1411 Locust building, but will help our first responders that are on the streets, the first responders that we have out there day after day, night after night. It will help keep our women and children in our safe houses, continue to keep our training programs open, our worldwide mission work, whether it's in India, Haiti, Africa, so many different things the New Life Evangelistic Center is doing. In addition to NLEC TV, tell your family and friends about it. Put it on your phone. Put on your get that phone app on all your friends' phones so that they can all see the Bernie Hayes Show or go to 24.2. It's your prayers and gifts that make all of this possible. I thank God for those of you who continue to pray for the reopening of 1411 Locust and the work of New Life Evangelistic Center. There's so many obstacles we're facing as we try to help the homeless, but we're going to continue to give it to God. We're going to continue to pray. We're going to continue to work, but we need you to partner with us. So again, it's New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, that's 63166. I thank God for each one of you that are praying, caring, and sharing.
And welcome back. You've just saw a portion from Reverend Larry Rice. And Mwaza Carol, you know the history of New Life Evangelistic Center, but you don't know the complete history. Okay. And Reverend Larry Rice wants you to have this book that he wrote for you to read and also to let people know. It's also available at the Progressive Emporium. Johnson Lancaster and Veronica Banks, they all have one. Kujaliwa and Fadi, they all have a copy through the flyer.
Then I'm in a good class there.
Yes, you certainly are. You know, Bob Dimmler, our producer and director, and he mentioned that the piece that we showed that you brought with you is done on wood.
Yes.
And that's very unique. We thought it was canvas. I thought it was canvas until I brought it in. But you do a lot of painting on wood?
Yeah, most of my paintings are on wood. Mm-hmm. Wood lends itself to a energy and beauty that you can't get from canvas.
How do you select the wood?
That is a very careful process.
Is it?
Because each piece, I like to make sure that the wood can be seen through the piece. So it's important that any of the design in the wood kind of goes along with the piece that I'm trying to create. So I have been in wood stores and Home Depot and all these places with 4 or 5 pieces of wood on the floor, looking at them to see what I see in the wood. Okay. What is it? With the things that I have in my mind, do I see any of that? Mm-hmm. Can I pull that out of this? Much to the chagrin of probably some of the workers there who have to put the stuff back. But that's generally how I decide on what.
So you need a wood that's absorbent to your materials. So what materials do you use to create the artists?
I usually use watercolor pencils.
Watercolor pencils. Mm-hmm.
And some inks, some acrylic inks, but mostly watercolor pencils because they allow for the wood grain to come through the design.
The absorbent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The only problem with that is that once it's there, it's there.
It's there. It's no
You can't
take it back.
you can't take it back.
And you can't overdo it.
Yeah.
It's not like canvas.
So I have to be very focused.
Mwaza Carol, do you see many African American women entering this particular field as an artist?
Yes, there are.
Creative artist.
There are quite a few. Here in St. Louis, there are quite a few creative artists. I think that it is becoming, art period as an artist is becoming a more acceptable standard for a job or a profession. It was that, oh, don't be an artist. You'll be a starving artist. You won't be able to take care of your life. But there's so many avenues for artists these days, even in media, digital media backgrounds, even in schools, teaching art in after-school programs, things like that. There's so many ways that people can actually sustain themselves being an artist.
That's great. Tell us about Mwaza Carol. Tell us about your education and why you became an artist.
Well,
tell us about your upbringing in St. Louis.
Well, I've lived in St. Louis all my life. Went to Normandy.
Family. Your mom and dad and the sisters and brothers and everybody else. We want to know about you.
I have 3 sisters. My mom, and I was raised by my mom and stepfather. I have 3 sisters. And a brother. But not all of them live with me, but I did see them and grow up with them.
Sure.
I had 2 sisters that lived with me.
You went to Normandy High School?
Yes, I went to Normandy.
What about your elementary school?
I went to Jefferson Elementary. I've been in Normandy School District my whole time, from Lincoln to Jefferson to Normandy Middle to Normandy High School.
And your higher education is from?
Fisk University.
Fisk University.
And University of Missouri St. Louis.
UM St. Louis. UMSL. It's interesting because you and I were talking, and NPR recently had a program on the Fisk Jubilee Singers and the history of Fisk University. Yes. And here I am speaking to a person who was actually one of the Fisk University singers. Yes,
my freshman year, I auditioned for the Fisk Jubilee Singers, and I was able to be one of 2 alternates for that. So I got to travel and sing with people like Della Reese.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was a joyful time. It was very enlightening and fun. Yeah.
With your higher education, with your direction there, why did you choose to become an artist?
Well, my first thought was to go into architecture because I kept hearing you won't be able to pay your bills.
Yeah, sure. The money factor.
Yeah. And then I thought, okay, I like math, but not that much. So I'm going to do what's really in my heart. I'm going to get a fine arts degree.
Wonderful.
I have always loved people like Romare Bearden, Aaron Douglas, and Ammonia Lewis, and all of these great artists that showed Black life unapologetically, So I went for it. I went to Fisk, and I was immersed in the Aaron Douglas technique down there.
How did you find Nashville? Being from St. Louis, how did you find Nashville?
Well, Fisk was on my radar as one of the schools that I wanted to attend. It was always going to be a HBCU. And Nikki Giovanni went there. And that was one of my favorite poets. It is one of my favorite poets. And she was such a rebel at Fisk. And I said, I'm going down there and I'm going to be a rebel and I'm going to do all the things that Nikki did. And so
I used to feature on my radio show all the time, some of her albums. She was really dynamic.
Yes.
Nikki. But I wanted you to also read some more of your autobiography here. I mean, your bio. But we don't. I guess we have time to read this paragraph for us.
So, Journeys of the African Spirit, which was my last show, was born out of the recent struggles that African people in America have been facing, mostly in my hometown of St. Louis. From police killings to protests, my people have spent time the past few years traveling in the depths of the struggles of our freedom and humanity. With this exhibit, I wanted to acknowledge that struggle of humanity, but show the triumphs and beauty that occurs simultaneously. I hope to inspire and awaken the spirit to see the struggle and beauty in our journey to be free.
And while you were in high school, someone came by and was very important and saw your book of poetry. Who was that?
It was Gwendolyn Brooks.
Gwendolyn Brooks.
Yes.
You met Gwendolyn Brooks, and she had saw some of your works.
Yes. She did. She read my poetry book, and she corrected some mistakes, and she wrote me a long paragraph that had some very inspiring words in it.
Did that was that another step on your way to being a creative artist? That meeting with Gwendolyn Brooks? Yes,
it was. It is. I have been part of African dance groups. I have been part of poetry groups, theater groups, all of that. It, inspired by Gwendolyn Brooks and, like I said, Nikki Giovanni and these artists that I had seen growing up. So it was a natural progression for me.
Mwaza Carol Art, how can we reach you again and give us the information?
Well, you can reach me at MwazaCarol@gmail.com. That's MwazaCarol. You can also reach me at my website, which is Mwaza Carol Art. And you can reach me .com.
Yes, okay.
MwazaCarolArt.com. And you can also contact me through my phone, which is 314-718-3791.
That's wonderful. I'll come back and have you do your last paragraph there, and also find out how you became attracted to Afrocentrism.
Okay.
And we're here at the New Life Evangelistic Center. Our new address is 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. Although Reverend Rice, his staff, and volunteers are still trying to reopen 1411 Locust Street. But the same programs that were administered there are being provided here for those in need. And we need water, we need food, we need, naturally, donations. And you can easily support the New Life Evangelistic Center. Your investment through www.newlifeevangelisticcenter.org, or visit us on web and do that. Or Post Office Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, 63166. But on the web, or you can call up, MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Discover Card. Takes less than 2 minutes for that investment in New Life Evangelistic Center. And everything is tax deductible, and no donation, no contribution, nothing is too small, because every nickel, every penny, every dime is used for these services here at New Life to help those in need. Back with Mwaza Carol after this.
Now you can take NLEC TV anywhere as you put the NLEC TV app on your iPhone or mobile device. NLEC TV is an innovative TV station that's on the cutting edge of community service. On NLEC TV, you'll discover wholesome family, community, renewable energy, and inspirational programming. Those needing energy assistance, food, clothing, or freedom from the cycle of homelessness will find that plus much more on NLEC TV. Now, you can receive NLEC TV by going to 24.2 on your television set or putting the NLEC TV app on your iPhone or mobile device. For further information, call 314-436-2424 or go to nlecstl.org. That's nlecstl.org.
We'll return, I guess, after this word from Matthew Henson, our Black History Moment. Born in 1866 in Maryland. In 1887, he met Edwin Perry, an explorer and officer in the U.S. Navy Corps of Engineers. Impressed by Henson's seafaring credentials, Perry hired him as a valet for an upcoming expedition to Nicaragua. In 1891, Henson joined Perry for an expedition to Greenland, and while there, Henson embraced the local Eskimo culture, learning the language and the natives' Arctic survival skills over the next year. Over the next several years, Perry and Henson would make multiple trips attempting to reach the North Pole. In 1908, Perry knew that his mission's success depended on his trusty companion, stating, "Henson must go all the way. I can't make it without him." And in 1909, Perry, Henson, and Eskimos finally reached the North Pole, Henson first to set foot at the North Pole. Matthew Henson died in New York City, 1955, buried in Woodlawn Cemetery. Matthew Henson.
In behalf of all the staff of the New Life Evangelistic Center, I want to wish each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas. I'm Larry Rice, the director of the New Life Evangelistic Center, and we have so much to be thankful for this year. God has come into our midst in a very special and powerful way. That's what the angel said. They shall call this babe Emmanuel, meaning God is with us, and He is with us. He's with me in the struggles that I have, and He's right there with you. As many as call upon the name of the Lord, they shall be called the children of God and get a deeper understanding of the whole message of Christmas. I want to invite you at this time to come to the Christ of Christmas. Let Him come into the world that you may find yourself in. It perhaps may be depression, oppression, frustration, and just let the Christ of Christmas come and live in your world. Watch Him do exceedingly abundantly beyond what you can ask or think. I know it works. I've seen Jesus at work, and I certainly thank Him for each one of you.
And welcome back. My guest is Carol Robinson. She's Mwaza Carol is her name. She owns her own books, business, Mwaza Carol Art. Carol Thompson-Robinson is the owner and artist, and she has so much wonderful stuff. Mwaza Carol, I know you embrace Afrocentrism, but would you read this last paragraph of your resume for me?
Toni Morrison once said about a book, although confined by cover and limited to type, it had to have a sound, a special sound made up of all the elements that distinguished Black life, as well as all of those qualities that identified it with all of mankind, and it must concentrate on life as lived, not as imagined by the people, the anonymous men and women who speak. My art is the life I have led and want to lead. I laugh my art, I sing my art, I dance my art, and I enjoy my art. It represents many mornings of sending my daughters to school. It represents many afternoons of watching old men sitting on porches, and it represents evenings of children playing ball in the streets. My art is the sound of ambulances and guns, of graduations and lives lived fully that transition at 90 years of age. My art is the sound that the DJs play in the basement parties, street parties, and club parties. It's the basis for my heart to beat and for me to live, to make change, inspire, and be revolutionary.
Wonderful, wonderful. You've embraced Afrocentrism. And why?
Because I think it is the beginnings of all things. I think that it connects me to my past, my ancestors. It connects me to my future. And it's a foundation of humanity that I can live by day to day.
Do you embrace the Nguzo Saba, and also do you celebrate Kwanzaa?
I do. Mm-hmm. I embrace the Nguzo Saba wholeheartedly. Mm-hmm. I have been celebrating Kwanzaa with my family since I think we started in 81.
Okay.
So maybe, what was that, 15 years after it actually started. Okay. So I was about 11 years old.
Dr. Mwaza Carol.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you so very, very much for being my guest today.
Thank you for having me.
Mwaza Carol, and you're the owner of Mwaza Carol Art. And I just embrace your thoughts, and you inspire me. And
thank you.
It's just wonderful to see that what you do and why you do it and how you do it.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, because you inspire me, Mr. Hayes.
You're very kind, very kind. And I want to say thanks to each and every one of you for supporting the New Life Evangelistic Center. And we invite you to come by and visit us 2428 Woodson Road in Oakland, Missouri. We're here for you, and we know that you're here for us, and for all of those you who've been supporting us for many, many years. We want to really say thank you. Happy holidays to you all. I'm Bernie Hayes.